afternoon, my friends. This is Tata Lumanda Fimaya Galarraga. Today, on this beautiful afternoon, sharing Spirit's message with you today. And today's message for me, I think it's a very deep one. It may seem simple, but it really isn't. And I needed to pay close attention to me in this very short message. The message is not the children's fault. It is not the children's fault. It is not the children's fault. This message goes out to the parents out there that, for whatever reasons, personal reasons, whatever emotional reasons they have, they take it out on their children. The issues they've had with the children's fathers, they're taking it out on their children. It's not only unjust, it's not only unfair, it's not only hurtful, it's not only totally uncalled for, but it also carves the way, it carves the path for that child, for that daughter, for that son. It carves the way for them. You take it out on your child because of what father has not done, or because what father has failed to do, or because of how father is not present, or because of the pain that was inflicted on you by father, by the child's father. Sadly said, there are many fatherless children out there today. Sadly said, there are many fathers that are not doing their part, that they're not stepping up, that they're not complying with their fatherly duties. But it is not the child's fault. I read for a lot of women, and I read for a lot of people, that for whatever reasons they have a bad relationship with their children because of the toxic relationship that they have with the child's father. And since you don't have anyone else around you to take it out on, you take it out on that poor child that did not ask to be here, number one, and does not deserve your unjust treatment towards him or her or them, if it's more than one child. The reason I bring this up today is not only because Spirit is pushing me to share this message, but because I read for parents that put their children in those predicaments. It is not the child's responsibility to mend what's been broken. It's not the child's responsibility to make your life any easier. It's not the child's responsibility to heal the pain that your heart feels. It sounds like I'm only speaking to women, and my message is mostly for women. But this also involves men. It's not the child's fault. If you are on the other side of the coin, in which you have been hurt by the mother of your child, you have been isolated by the mother of the child, it is not the child's fault. It is your duty to be present in that child's life to the best of your abilities. It is your duty to fulfill that role, that father figure, that role that you are obligated to fulfill as a father. So this goes to both parents. But I, from my end, as a spiritualist, as a healer, as a spiritist, as a messenger for spirit, I read for a lot of people, and I get to see this mostly more with women. And for the most part, it is not intentional. For the most part, I am aware by what I see in readings, that the mother has really no intent, no real intent of hurting her son, her daughter, or her children. It is not in her heart to hurt that child, but there's so much pain that has been inflicted. There's so much hurt that is sometimes so hard to deal with and fulfill your role as a mom when you're doing it all alone, when you don't have a support, when you don't have a male figure at home to help you rear that child, and you're trying to fulfill so many different roles. If you're a mom of a boy, it's hard for you to teach certain things to that male child, because there's certain things that should come from us men to our male children. But sometimes you are the mom and you are the dad, and there's only so much that you can do. I've had other situations in which I see clients that it is beyond them when they see their child's face. They're not really looking at the child, they're looking at the face of the father. If you're looking at your ex-husband, or you're looking at your child's father, in the face of your child, know that that child is not your husband, is not your ex-husband, is not the father of that child. He is your son, she is your daughter. They are your children, not the man that created that child. So it's a very simple message. I don't want to elaborate and go on and on and on and on something that's very simple, very clear cut. Be careful, be cautious, be sensitive how you talk to your children. Be sensitive how you express yourself in the presence of your children. Be cautious what comes out of your mouth in the presence of your children, because the things that you tell a child directly, the things that you tell to a child or you say in front of them, stays engraved in their heart forever. Don't be that kind of parent that with the intent to get back at the father, you hurt the child and you turn the child against his or her father when it's not the child's fault. Because when you were creating that child, when you were having fun with that man, when you thought it was all going to be roses without any thorns, which there is no such a thing, that child did not ask to be created. You did a conscious act to make that and bring that about. So it is your calling, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to protect that child's heart, to protect them from the pain that they're already feeling from not having their father next to them. There's nothing more hurtful for a child to grow up without the presence of their father. There's nothing more hurtful than that. So your child, your daughter, your son does not need you making that pain even worse. They don't need it. It's not fair to them, especially when they are growing up. Their formation is such an important process in their life. We're talking about future doctors. We're talking about future lawyers, architects, engineers. We're talking about future individuals that will be in service, whether it's in the military or whether it's in service jobs, helping others, or nurses. We are talking about the future. And whatever pain you directly or indirectly inflict in your child, in your son, in your daughter, the future will see its effects by how they manifest themselves, by how they react to other people, by how they build their own personal relationships, by how they treat their own children when they have them. So let's break the cycle. Let's break that continuous chain of pain, because it's a cycle. And you as a mom, especially if it's mothers, you're the protector. You're the the individual that gives love. Father does too. Both parents should. But I see so many moms that try to get back at dad through their children. They try to get back at the absence of that man at home through the child. You respond to your child and you react to your child in such a negative, aggressive way that you don't know that it's little by little scarring their heart. It's a scar that you are inflicting in that soul, that you are inflicting in that heart. And those things are never erased. They could be healed through time, but they're never erased. So moms, be cautious. Be very, very, very conscientious of how you express yourself in front of your children. And what you say about their dads too. I commend, I applaud the mother who does not speak ill of the father in front of the children. Because whatever you and that man had going on is between you and that man. Whatever situations and issues you had with that person, it is between that man and you and that man. It is not the child's fault. And you should not bring your children into that equation. Your children's mind is not even fully developed to even understand and grasp what's right, what's wrong, how things should be done, because they're not adults yet. And if it's a boy, scientifically and psychologically, a male's mind does not fully develop until the age 25. So therefore, whatever it is that you're saying or expressing, or however it is that you're expressing yourself towards your son or towards your daughter, it should be positive. It should be of love. It should be of affection. It should be of, everything that a child needs. But what it doesn't need is that ill-intended emotions that you express because of what you're lacking, because of what was taken away from you, because what was abandoned in you. It's not your child's fault, and you should not hurt that child with your words or your expression or your lack of love. Because some of you women that are moms don't even build a bond with your child because you're so disconnected, because that child is a continuous reminder of that man that hurt you, of that man that inflicted pain, of that man that stepped out, that man that ran off on you. And that constant reminder is a continuous barrier in the relationship that you should be building with your son or your daughter or your children. You are the adult. You're the one that should have a better understanding of the scenario that life has placed you in and the scenario that you've placed yourself in. Because I'm not saying everyone, because needless to say, there's always an exception. But most of the time, you knew who you were getting involved with. You knew. Each morning that you wake up, embrace your children, give them love, give them support, show them your love, but don't take it out on them. It is not the child's fault that you chose to bring life into this world with a man that was irresponsible yesterday and is irresponsible today. A man that never grew up, a man that never understood responsibility, a man that never learned what was it like or what is like to be a man, much less to be a father. If he was a player yesterday and you knew it, because you were probably a product of that, you came into play while he was playing, then you knew what you were getting yourself into most of the time. There's always an exception. There are always exceptions. But the point of the matter is, And the fact is that it's not your children's fault. So don't take it out on your child. I see a lot of youngsters as well. I see a lot of teenagers that still carry the pain. That still carry the pain of the unspoken words, the lack of bond, or the hurtful expressions and words that came out of mom because dad wasn't present. Or vice versa, the hurtful expression that comes out of father because mom had a bad life or chose a different route or abandoned their children. I've seen moms that have abandoned their children and the father have had to step up to the plate and be a dad and a mom to the best of his abilities. So therefore, whomever it is, whomever you are, however it applies to you, be cautious of that life that you brought into this world that does not deserve your silent treatment or your abusive words and actions. Many blessings to you. Many blessings to you. If you know someone that needs to hear this message, share this video, hit the like button, leave your comment, subscribe to my channel, and let's spread the word, because there's a lot of hearts to heal. There's a lot of families to heal. There's a lot of brokenness that we have to try to either mend and make it whole again, or create a new route for them to embark on a new journey that's distant from that pain that some of you live in, consistently live in. Many blessings to you, my friends. Many, many, many blessings to you. May the Spirit always bless your path. Remember, it is not the child's fault. Don't take it out on them. It is not their fault. You be the adult. Be the adult. Step up to the plate. Do your responsibility, which is to give love, which is to teach, which is to show how to become a better person, which is to show that daughter how not to make the mistakes that you made. So keep that in mind when you go through your tantrum, and when something ignites in your brain that reminds you of the pain that that man inflicted in your life, or vice versa, the pain that that woman inflicted in your life. Be conscious, be attentive, be alert, be sensitive what comes out of your mouth. It's not the child's fault. And the blessings of the earth be with you. Tata Lombanda, Afimaya Galata.